Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Hello everyone. Right, so what you're going to learn today is how do you remove the air filter on the classic race bike, classic superbike, the BMW R NineT Racer. Hark back to the 70s race bike, to the 70s superbike without the unreliability. Let's hit it.
It's showtime.
So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to lay down some soft material where you'll be placing all of the parts that you're about to remove for your R NineT Racer. Classic superbike, classic race bike. Brilliant. So what you first need to do is remove the rear hump, or the rear seat cover. Now, down here is a bolt that is holding the seat cover in place. This model is quite lucky because this one has had a beautiful Evotech tail tidy. So the bolt you need to remove is this center one. This center one here. Do not undo the other two. Don't undo these two. Undo that one. You're going to need a 4mm Allen or Torx. You need to get it in here. So the reason why that we're using a extension is so that we don't, as we rotate the tool, we don't hit those little peg-like things here. Okay, now it was not going to be super tight, like so. Actually, it's going to be so not super tight. You can literally take the extension like so and just start undoing it by hand. Be aware, do you notice that washer? Do not lose that washer. Why is there a washer? Because that washer the camera could be bothered to focus. Fucking camera. That washer's there so that the bolt does not crush into the plastic and mark and damage the plastic, but also to put even pressure on the plastic so that the bolt is tight with equal amount of pressure rather than it being tight on one part of the bolt and not the other part. This is about equal force. Keep this safe, don't lose it, don't lose the washer. And then the rear seat cover will just come away. Got to pull it back a little bit. Let's take it off yeah, where it mounts underneath the seat. See, yeah, there you go. Rubber thingies. Takes a bit of force. Okay, remove. Importantly, remember not to lose that bolt. Keep it with the rear seat hump. Okay, well that is the seat off. You've got to pull up on this tab here. this particular R19 Racer, classic superbike, classic race bike, the difference here is that we're very lucky that she has a full aquaprilic system. So it means we have this piece here. So what that means to you is that, yeah, a bit more tricky to get the seat off, and that you have to give the seat more of a wiggle, more of a pull, and eventually it will release. But not straightforward. Okay, take the seat away, find somewhere safe and appropriate. So something like on a soft bit of carpet's a really good idea. So you now need to undo these two pieces here. And we need to bring this piece of plastic away. So they are actually quite tight. So that should be undo. It's January, so it is freezing cold. Ugh. Okay, that one cracked off. That one cracked off as well. Tight. Amazingly tight. Like, really tight. These may never have been ever taken off this race bike. If you can, try to do long strokes. You're making your life easier. By being able to turn the Torx bolt more. Once it's loose enough, you can actually just detach the ratchet and start to undo it by hand, but it does not feel like these have ever been removed. Should be as easy as taking it off its mounts, like so. The reason why you're doing that, and now we need to remove these beautiful aluminium side pieces. Left hand side, and the other side. You are going to need a T30 to undo the top Torx here. The reason why is that you are using an extension is because as you undo these parts, what you don't want is your ratchet to swing around and whack into any of the components on the R19 Racer, but also the fuel tank. Get that undid pretty easily. It's important to remember where each piece, each bolt goes. So then you'll need to move on to a T25 for the next one here, for this one there. But again, remember, be sure that your ratchet is set to undo. What Luke Rides has found is that when it comes to Torx bolts, yeah, they are soft. So if your ratchet is in the tightening position and you don't realise it, you're wearing the bolt, the head of it, and the last thing that you want is that head to round off. So you're being as ultra careful as possible, because this is the fascia, this is what you see in the R NineT Racer. Same with things like this. Don't let it fall on the floor, because if you do, all will happen is you'll just chip the surface, damage the surface, and then that will look rubbish. Do what you can to keep everything together as best as possible. That's an example. Keeping the spacer like that. And remember to keep the bolts together. Same with the other side as well. What do you think? Once Luke Grimes has done all the workshop videos, and that's our R NineT Racer, it's going to be way easier to service it in the future. Just get on with it. So undo the top one. Once they crack off, they're not overly tight. Literally remove the first Torx bolt just by hand. And then so the next one. So you need to also undo the Torx here, which is actually quite loose. So take your Torx socket off the ratchet and then just start undoing. Remember what we said, don't let the washer fall on the floor, because one, you're going to damage it, chip the surface. Even this washer alone is expensive, it's unique, it's custom. So put your hand on the washer and just pull away the second side piece. That's aluminium, by the way. Look at that, that's aluminium. And the gauze effect there. Very beautiful BMW. See what we did? We talked about. And just like that. And it's really important to try and, if you can, keep the bolts and Torx where you found them. Because Luke Grimes is noticing the Torx are different lengths, they're different sizes. If you put the wrong Torx into the wrong mounting hole, you will destroy the threads inside pretty quickly, and you don't want that. So now you just need to pull this out of the way as best that you can. And there's a small Torx bolt in the frame. You will need to undo that one as well. This Torx bolt is not very tight. Once it's loose enough, you can then take off the ratchet and just start undoing by hand. You're gonna have to undo it by hand because it's actually quite difficult to get to that Torx bolt. I don't know. Try that. Whoa. I've been given superpowers. Superpowers of light.
It's a bit loose.
It's a bit loose, but it's still a superpower. Something like that. Oh, that's a real bugger to get to. I think we need a magnetron of some kind. That's really annoying to get to. Oh, that's interesting. This Torx bolt does not magnetize. I guess we can could, okay, if you could just lift the control unit, control module, and use your one finger to push on that bit, or your other finger to try and grip the head, and you can get it out. Again, different sizing on this torque bolt. Gotta remember that, really important. So this module has what look like tabs. What you've got to do is a technique of pulling back while lifting at the same time, while wiggling at the same time, and away comes the module. And it sits on these tabs here, that tab and that tab, underneath some metal, like some metal clips. And of course it's BMW race bike, perfect. So they're very tight, they won't allow the module to run riot or go anywhere it shouldn't. So all you got to do is now move the module as best you can out of the way. I wonder what that module controls. Okay, so you have two Torx bolts. You need to remove the BMW R NineT, well, the intake, snorkel, whatever you like to call it. You'll need a T25 for these two here. Complicated motorcycle to work on. See, there's a trick they don't talk about on YouTube. So, when you're using the tool, be careful with this bit, because you don't want to scratch this. What you're seeing is a metallic finish. So tools like this, if you're not careful, will just scratch into finishes like this. Also, what they don't talk about on the R19 videos is there's a clear washer. So the reason why BMW used a clear washer is even distribution of force with the torque bit, but also not to damage the painted finish. That's really important. Don't lose the washer, keep the washer safe. Just got one more here, and you just got to keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. So, just in case Snorkel tries to do something stupid, talks. Remember that washer? Apparently, this is clipped into place somehow. Oh, they make it look so easy on YouTube, don't they? Well, there's a clip somewhere. This is supposed to come off. It's not easy to see either. Yes, we have undone that bit. Just trying to figure out where this supposed washer is. Shit. Oh yeah, see it. Alright, the plastic snorkel. Gosh, this BMW quality, isn't it? It's so well built. Oh! That's a snorkel. So remember what we talked about before? You're doing what you can to keep the bolts together and washers together. Just like that. Next stage is need to remove the Pew racing screen. You have 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. You will need a T20 Torx. Each of these Torx bolts have a washer behind them. The reason why BMW did that is so that as you tighten the bolt does not tighten into the paintwork and damage the paint underneath. That's why you have washers. Don't lose them. Keep them safe. Whatever you do, don't lose the washers. I'm going to undo these two Torx bolts here. Whoa! I'll have to do the same for the other side. Greg had no idea this job would be huge. On the Racer, got to be quite careful as well, because what we don't want is for the mirror to fall on the floor. That's a big no-no. We don't want to let it fall on the body panel either. I mean, if we can at least such an awkward angle too. We can at least I mean, if we can at least take not the full, even not the whole bikini fairing. If we can get away with not taking off the entire bikini fairing, that would be a bonus. If we can just at least get the side pieces of the bikini fairings off, that would be pretty good. Okay, and away comes the mirror. Little bit of corrosion. Little bit of corrosion in there. And two Torx bolts. And we're going to need to do the same on this side as well. Don't use an extension on this occasion, because you won't be bashing into this is going to be a big job rebuilding this. This is just to get to the air filter. Luke Rides is using his hand to knock, so the ratchet does not smack into Stunning, beautiful BMW paintwork. Just needs a little bit more. Could this be any more complicated? Of course it could. Of course it could. Of course it could be more complicated. As far as we're aware, the air filter has not been changed on the R NineT Racer. You just get as far as you can. It looks like we may actually have to remove the fuel tank just to get to the air filter. Oh, that's the choice of race bikes. Just through the bolt. Because you don't want to be letting this damage the same white paintwork. Yeah, you just need to be careful. Okay, and clear. Alright. A little bit of corrosion, but then to be expected, I guess. Same technique. Remember, keep the bolts where they were, in the part they were, in the same order. So you don't lose the bolts, and so you remember where they go. And again, remember the same technique. Keep the bolts exactly as you found them in the part if you can, and then those bolts won't go missing, or you won't get confused where they should be. So this part has not been talked about on YouTube on the Racer model, the classic SuperBike classic race bike. So you have the stunning Bikini fairing here, and the actual bolts holding the fuel tank into place are here. One that side and another on the same side. Now it's not looking as if we're going to be able to get a tool in there. We may actually have to remove this fairing. That's a bit of a bugger because this fairing looks very complicated to take apart. Like really complicated. So we've got fixing there. Got that. Oh no, fuck it. I don't know. Let's see if we can get a tool in there. But it's not looking. Oh well. No, it's not looking likely. It's right there. Also a hidden Torx bolt on the part of the frame. Take a ratchet tool. Again, be careful with that paintwork. Be careful with that paintwork, T20. These are the hidden Torx bolts. Do not have a washer on them. Same the other side. And then here. And same the other side. Same place. See how we get on. Same same one on the other side removed, right there. You also have 2 Torx bolts at the bottom that now need to come out. T20. And should be able to just undo it by hand. Again, that was not very tight. Again, you're trying to be ultra careful. Because as you understand, you don't want to damage the panel. That's all. This front side piece seems to unclip from the body, the Bikini fairing. Apparently. What it quite like so far. I don't seem to want to give way in this area. So it gave way there. Oh, it's a clip. Whoa. Whoa. Oh wow. Well, there's your hidden Torx beds. I say this is very beautifully engineered by BMW. Everything has its purpose. Everything has its purpose. It's just remembering where each bolt goes. So what you now have is Torx at the top, Torx, and same the other side, Torx. And that is all that's left holding this panel in place. Now once this comes out, it's going to come out pretty quickly, so make sure that you have somewhere that is soft, where you know it's not going to get damaged or kicked or scratched, because this is a valuable piece, very valuable. T20. Wow, okay, interesting design by BMW. A2 Torx, whatever that may mean. So you're just making sure that they undo first. Fascinating how it's put together though. Very, very much race bike, very much cafe racer of the 70s. Like this is how they used to be. And just start loosening them off. Wow. Like so. Like so. Like so. Yeah. Beautifully engineered. It's nice how BMW have kept as many of the Torx and the bolts hidden away as possible. No washers. They were not very tight. Granted, Pete, they were not very tight. Right, let's soon. This entire piece is going to stop falling away. It looks as if. Okay, so side piece 1. And then that undoes from here. Right, okay. So, fascinating. It's such a shame that this was a limited production run of BMW. It would have been nice to see a new generation R NineT Racer. Oh, this one's going to try and fall off as well. don't let it fall on the floor. If it falls on the floor, you're going to scratch this stunning panel. So lift the panel up from the top, and then away you go. Remember, keep your bolts together. Be wary as you're walking, not to kick, scratch, or anything happen to your bikini fairings. Don't let anything happen to them. They are immaculate and beautiful. Alright, so what you're going to need is something like a T25 on a extension. Why on an extension? It's because we don't want to knock into the indicator, and we don't want to knock into this piece either. These are probably going to be factory settings, so they're going to be ultra tight. Okay, that's the first one. And remember, try to do long strokes. And when you're ready, try to you can actually just start doing it by hand. See why we had to take the bikini fairing off, or as a washer as well. See why we had to do that? Because if we tried to undo the bolt, two Torx bolts holding the fuel tank in place from the top, and these rounded off, oh, you'd be in serious trouble. So because we got the bikini fairing out of the way, we can put a full force into the Torx bolt and just make sure that the Torx bolt has got enough force that it starts moving without rounding off the head. It's just something you learn sometimes when we're working on motorcycles. We're on the extension, so we don't let the ratchet whack into the indicator or a piece of the frame on the bikini fairing in place. Oh, that's tight. Ooh. Yeah, that one cut the fight. That did not feel very good. What we're also noticing is the Torx bolts holding the fuel tank in place, is that there is corrosion on the threads. So we'll try and get something in there to try and just clean out or reduce that corrosion. What a big job this is. This is just getting into the air filter. We haven't even removed the air filter yet. We're just trying to get to it. What a massive job this is. You can see why your BMW, oh god, that's fucking BMW mechanics, yeah, will charge you a hefty labour fee to just get this far. Christ. You need to undo this bolt here using a T27. It wasn't very tight. There is a little bit of corrosion, just a tiny bit. We also need to go behind the fuel tank. There are two drain pipes, and all you need to do is pull them out of the clips running along the frame, and just remember how they're routed by BMW. And also you have to release that one too.
What we need to do is siphon the fuel out of the tank, because this tank is nearly full. So I've just put a hose into the tank. And then you've got options, right? You can suck on here and hope you don't get a mouthful of petrol. I'll just put that into the can. Or another option is to put a second tube down into the tank and get a rag around it. I don't know if this will work too well, but oh, that didn't work very well, did it? That's a full tank of fuel, mate. Anyway, it's working, so do you want to see? I've got petrol everywhere. God damn it. It's a bit like that. Okay, so we're filming. You need to sort this out, don't you? So sort out your microfiber, and I'll rotate the tank. And then you're going to be looking for those two to go through, okay? I won't be holding this forever because it's quite heavy. Ready and go. Oh. Here comes the rotation. You're pulling it back, so I'm putting it forward. And now I'm going to rest it there. Resting. So what we need is for the tank to come over. Okay. But if it can't, it can't. It's no big deal. But you can get to your airbox right now. That's one. That's two. So here's now. And then these tabs now. Wiring loom is in the way. Bottom tab. Somehow. How are we going to do this? Because some of these cable ties are like around a something that goes into the frame. Okay, we have release. With chips, we have release. That's released. Thank you. So we just need to, I need to snip off this cable tie. I think I need to snip off this cable. Oh. It's not going into the frame. It's not going into the frame. Whoa, okay, steady yourself, man. Steady yourself. One, you're going to scratch it in a minute. You need to be very cautious. Make sure you put the pin down as lightly as you found it so you know how to insert it. And go pop the top one out. It may hit the tank, I'll just lift the tank slightly for you. That's it, give it a wiggle.
It's so tight.
Now, got to hold your snorkel on. You don't want them coming undone.
Running out of muscle power.
It's generally how it happens. Whoa, I have a tank movement. Are you pushing against us on?
Yes, I need a bit of extra room.
What do you want me to do?
That way. Got it.
So make sure you mention on the video that you've got to pop that out first.
You've got to pop the snorkel out of this rubber boot. Somehow.
Okay. A little bit of lubricant on the back of it will help it slide right through. You could use anything from hand soap. So go and get the hand soap in the back. Right? So what's actually stopping you is not here, it's back here. That little nub there. No, I mean liquid soap. Liquid soap. Dove soap, I'm going to cut it. Yeah, and you could pump some liquid soap in the back there over that nub.
Pump
Onto the nub, yeah.
onto the nut.
Can't throw the loom down, you know, it's got to come past the loom. Wow, that's some crazy. Wow, that really needs cleaning as well, that's disgusting.
As far as we're aware, we're not aware that the air filter has actually ever been changed on this race bike. That's just filthy. Come on, stop bleeding. I don't understand why Kawasaki do things their way sometimes. What do you do? One disgusting air filter. Really dirty. But not from the other side. It's a MAHLE and says BMW. Massive job. Just removing the air filter is a big job and difficult and complicated and just a difficult job. The amount of panels and fixings you have to get out of the way, and then you've got to move the tank in such a way that you don't have to remove the tank but you don't want it to fall over to get just enough access to the airbox. Oh god. BMW made some revisions on the new generation of the, which is now called the R12T. BMW just made the name really complicated. R9T is complicated enough, and now you've made it even worse. But hey, that's just BMW.
Thanks for watching.
The little rascal has spirit. As water.
This is the end of the trail for me.
Thank you.
Thank you, kid.
Time for a coffee. Yeah, good coffee.